Imagine this for a moment. You wake up in the morning, and before you even touch your phone, before you check the messages, before you get lost in the noise of the world, you look in the mirror and you tell yourself words so powerful that they shape your entire day. Because the truth is, the first voice you hear in the morning is the one that decides whether you will rise like a champion or drag yourself through the day like a victim. So let me ask you, what are you telling yourself every morning? Most people wake up and immediately say, I'm tired, I'm stressed, I'm not ready. And that becomes their reality. But winners, leaders, and unstoppable human beings, they feed their mind with words that give them energy, strength, and unstoppable confidence. Every morning you have two choices: program your mind for success or allow the world to program you for average. And if you truly want to step into your best life, you must begin with these 7 powerful affirmations. Tell yourself, today I am stronger than my excuse. Because excuses may sound good, but they will never build your dreams. Tell yourself, I am worthy of success and happiness. Because you cannot attract greatness if you believe you are small. Tell yourself, I will focus on progress, not perfection. Because small steps every day are more powerful than waiting for the perfect moment. Tell yourself, I control my attitude, my effort, and my actions. Because when you take responsibility, no one can stop you. Tell yourself, I am grateful for this new day, this new chance, this new opportunity. Because gratitude turns what you have into enough and attracts even more into your life. Tell yourself, I am capable of doing hard things. Because strength is built in struggle, not in comfort. And finally, tell yourself, today I will not stop until I am proud. Because pride doesn't come from easy wins. It comes from giving your best, no matter how tough it gets. My friends, your morning words are not just sounds, they are seeds. Plant negativity and you will harvest failure. Plant power, belief, and courage, and you will harvest victory. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, don't start with doubt. Don't start with fear. Start with power. Start with these 7 truths. Because when you do, your mornings will no longer just be mornings. They will become the foundation of your unstoppable life. When you wake up in the morning, the very first thing that comes out of your mouth or runs through your mind sets the tone for everything that follows. Think of it like setting the GPS of your life each day. If you wake up and the first words you say are negative, like I'm so tired, or this day is going to be hard, you've already programmed your mind to look for problems, to notice struggles, and to carry that weight with you. But if the first words you tell yourself are powerful, uplifting, and full of belief, then you give your mind a completely different direction. You are telling yourself, I am ready, I am capable, I am in control. That single shift has the power to change how you walk, how you talk, and how you face challenges throughout the day. Imagine 2 people waking up side by side. One says, I can't do this, I'm exhausted, I just want this day to be over. The other says, today is another chance. Today I will grow stronger. Today I will take control. Both people have the same 24 hours ahead of them, but they are living 2 completely different realities because of the first words they chose. One is defeated before the day begins. The other is empowered before the sun is even high in the sky. This is the true power of your first words. They shape your focus, your mindset, and ultimately your results. Your brain is like a magnet. Whatever words you repeat to yourself, your mind begins to search for evidence to support them. If you wake up saying, I can't handle this, your brain will highlight every difficulty and prove you right. If you wake up saying, I can handle anything today throws at me. Your brain will seek out opportunities, solutions, and strength you didn't even know you had. This is not some kind of magic. It's how the human mind works. The thoughts you feed it in the morning become the filter through which you see everything that follows. That's why your mornings matter so much more than most people realize. Successful athletes, leaders, and entrepreneurs understand this deep. Before they step into their day, they prepare their mind. They know that performance begins with belief. They don't wait for good circumstances to feel powerful. They speak power into their own life. They use their first words like fuel, and it carries them through training, through business, through every obstacle. And this is not reserved for the elite. Anyone can do it. You can do it. It doesn't take money. It doesn't take special skills. It only takes awareness and discipline to choose your first words wisely. Think about how many mornings you may have wasted by starting with the wrong words. I hate my job. I'm not good enough. Nothing ever changed. Each one of those statements digs a hole that makes the day heavier to climb out of. Now think about what could happen if instead you woke up and told yourself, I am grateful for this chance to try again. I am stronger than yesterday. I am building something worthwhile. Suddenly, your energy rises, your mood shifts, and your perspective changes. Even if nothing outside you has changed, everything inside you has. And that difference is what makes you face the outside world in a new way. The first words are not just casual thoughts. They are instructions to your subconscious. They tell your mind what kind of day to prepare for. If you constantly feed your mind negativity, it will guard you with fear, excuses, and hesitation. But if you give it empowering words, it will prepare you with courage, determination, and resilience. Over time, those daily instructions don't just shape your days. They shape your weeks, your months, and eventually your life. This is how powerful that small morning decision truly is. Excuses are one of the easiest things to create, and yet they are also the most destructive. Every person has them. Every person can justify why they are not doing something, and every person can explain why their dreams have to wait. Excuses sound reasonable. They make you feel comfortable, and they give you permission to stay the same. But the hard truth is that excuses don't build dreams. No one has ever achieved greatness by making excuses. No empire, no championship, no breakthrough, no invention was ever born out of a list of reasons why it couldn't be done. What builds dreams is discipline, the decision to show up, whether you feel like it or not, the choice to push forward even when it's uncomfortable, the strength to keep going when every excuse is screaming at you to stop. When you rely on excuses, you hand over your power. You convince yourself that life is in control of you, not the other way around. You say things like, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have support, and in doing so, you build walls around yourself. Discipline, on the other hand, is about tearing those walls down. It says, I will make time, I will find a way, I will create opportunities. Excuses limit your world. Discipline expands it. Excuses leave you where you are. Discipline moves you to where you want to be. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't is rarely about talents. It's about discipline. Excuses say, I'll do it tomorrow. Discipline says, I'll do it now. Excuses say, it's too hard. Discipline says, hard is the price I'm willing to pay. Excuses say, it's not the right time. Discipline says, there will never be a perfect time, so I'll start today. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, you strengthen your character, you sharpen your focus, and you build momentum. Think about it this way, excuses give you short-term comfort, but long-term regret. Discipline gives you short-term effort, but long-term reward. When you are making excuses, you may feel safe in the moment, but over time, You feel the pain of wasted potential, of missed chances, of goals that slipped away. When you practice discipline, it may feel tough in the moment, but later you feel the pride of progress, the satisfaction of growth, the joy of seeing your dreams becoming real. That pride will always outweigh the temporary comfort that excuses bring. Look at the people you admire most, the athletes, the entrepreneurs, the leaders, the creators. Do you think they didn't have excuses available to them? Of course they did. They were tired, they were stressed, they had failures and setbacks, just like you. But they made a choice not to bow to their excuses. They made discipline their daily habit. They woke up early to train. They worked long hours to build. They sacrificed comfort for growth. And that is why they are remembered, while millions of others who chose excuses are forgotten. Excuses are nothing more than stories. Stories you tell yourself to justify why you aren't doing what you know you should. Discipline is action. It doesn't need a story. It shows results. Excuses live in the mouth. Discipline lives in the habit. Excuses are fueled by fear. Discipline is fueled by purpose. The question you must ask yourself each morning is this: will I choose the story, or will I choose the action? Will I let excuses keep me comfortable but empty, or will I let discipline make me uncomfortable but fulfilled? Every time you feel an excuse rise up, I'm too tired, I'm too busy, I'll do it later, you have a chance to replace it with discipline. Take the action, even if it's small, because action destroys excuses. The more discipline you practice, the weaker excuses become. What was once hard becomes your new normal. What once seemed impossible becomes your standard. Over time, excuses lose their power, and discipline becomes who you are. Gratitude is often misunderstood as something soft, something passive, something you do only when everything is going well. But the truth is, gratitude is not weakness, it is power. It is not about ignoring struggles or pretending that pain does not exist. It is about focusing on what you do have instead of what you lack, on what you can do instead of what you cannot. Gratitude sharpens your vision, lifts your energy, and builds resilience in a way nothing else can. When you wake up in the morning and choose to be grateful, you are not lowering your standard, you are raising your strength. People who live without gratitude are always chasing, always comparing, always unsatisfied. No matter how much they achieve, they still feel empty, because their attention is fixed on what is missing. But a person who lives with gratitude can face the same struggles, the same setbacks, the same obstacles, and still feel empowered, because their mind is tuned to abundance, not scarcity. Gratitude does not change your circumstances overnight, but it changes your perspective immediately. And when you change your perspective, you unlock solutions, creativity, and courage that were invisible to you before. Think about this. The strongest people in history, the ones who endured suffering, loss, and pain, all spoke about gratitude. They understood that no matter how dark life gets, there is always something to be thankful for. Gratitude is what gives you hope when you are tired. It is what gives you energy when you want to quit. It is what gives you perspective when the problems seem too heavy. It is not weakness. It is the fuel that keeps you going when everything else is failing. Gratitude also builds confidence. When you focus on what you already have, you stop doubting yourself. You stop saying, I don't have enough, and start saying, I already have something to build with. That shift makes you stronger, more resourceful, more determined. Instead of waiting for the perfect conditions, you start using the tools, the opportunities, the strengths you already possess. Gratitude trains your mind to see possibility where others only see lack, and that mindset alone separates winners from quitters. In the morning, when you tell yourself, I am grateful for this day, I am grateful for my body, I am grateful for the chance to try again, you give yourself energy that no cup of coffee can match. You remind yourself that life itself is a gift, that every new day is a chance to grow, to learn, to become better. This does not mean you settle for less. It means you fight harder, for more,
because you already recognize the value of what you have. Gratitude gives you the strength to push forward without being consumed by frustration. Without gratitude, discipline feels like a burden, challenges feel like punishment, and success feels hollow. With gratitude, discipline becomes an act of respect for your life, challenges become opportunities to grow, and success becomes a celebration rather than an escape. Gratitude changes the meaning you attach to everything, and meaning is what gives life its richness. When difficulties come, and they always will, gratitude becomes your shield. It does not remove the struggle, but it protects your spirit from being broken by it. When you can still say, thank you in the middle of the storm, you remain unshakable. Gratitude creates warriors, not victims. It creates leaders, not complainers. It builds a foundation so strong that no matter what happens, you can stand firm and keep moving forward. Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a practice. It is something you choose every morning, even on the days you don't feel like. And the more you practice it, the more powerful it becomes. The simple act of being grateful strengthens your mind, your energy, your relationships, and your results. It transforms ordinary mornings into powerful beginnings, and ordinary people into unstoppable forces. Perfection is one of the biggest traps that holds people back from living their best life. The idea that everything must be flawless before you can start, before you can move, before you can try, keeps countless dreams locked inside minds and hearts. But the truth is, perfection doesn't exist. No plan is perfect. No timing is perfect. No person is perfect. And waiting for perfection is the fastest way to waste your potential. Progress, not perfection, is what creates growth, success, and fulfillment. When you choose progress, you understand that small steps matter. Every action, no matter how imperfect, moves you forward. Writing 1 page a day will eventually create a book. Saving a small amount regularly will eventually build wealth. Training a little each day will eventually create strength. But those who chase perfection often never even start, because they are too busy waiting for the right moment that never comes. Progress is about momentum, and momentum is far more powerful than the illusion of perfection. Think about a child learning to walk. They stumble, they fall, they wobble, but every step, no matter how unsteady, is progress. If that child waited until they could walk perfectly, they would never move at all. Yet as adults, we forget this simple truth. We demand perfection from ourselves, and when we cannot deliver it, we give up. Progress is what creates mastery, and mastery looks like perfection only after years of failing, learning, and improving. Perfection is often rooted in fear, the fear of being judged, the fear of failing, the fear of not being enough. But progress is built on courage, the courage to be imperfect, the courage to look foolish, the courage to try again after failing. Every great invention, every masterpiece, every breakthrough was once messy, unpolished, and imperfect. What made it great was not perfection at the start, but progress along the way. When you wake up each morning and tell yourself, I will focus on progress, not perfection, you are freeing yourself. You are giving yourself permission to grow, to experiment, to improve. You stop comparing yourself to others who may be years ahead, and instead, you compete with who you were yesterday. That is the only competition that truly matters. Progress is not about being better than someone else. It's about being better than your old self. Progress is powerful because it compounds. A little bit each day becomes a lot over time. Just as drops of water can carve out a stone, consistent progress can create massive transformation. You may not see results instantly, but over weeks, months, and years, your small daily actions will build a life that perfection could never give you. Waiting for the perfect time leaves you empty-handed. Taking imperfect action fills your hands with growth and experience. The most successful people are not the ones who waited until they were ready. They are the ones who started messy, learned along the way, and improved with every step. They embraced progress, and that progress created the results others now admire. If you look closely at any great journey, you will see countless mistakes.